Welcome to Shift School, where we talk to expert leaders about making big shifts or small shifts that impact the things that we do every day. Here today, I have Coach Helen. I'm so excited to have you here. Will you tell us about yourself and where you're from?
Thank you so much, Lisa, for allowing me to come to your podcast. I'm excited because I love the work that you do. I am Helen Veru, and I'm from Martinique, which is a French Caribbean island. And I'm here with you to share my expertise.
I'm so excited. It was really a happenstance, like that we met. I think it was probably in a Facebook group that we had
Yes.
connected, and it was just so exciting. We have so much in common. So you talk a lot about your leadership in schools. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, so I just want to share a bit of my story before
Oh,
and
yes,
how it
please.
started,
Hmm.
and how I became an educational consultant because I feel like it's important that people see the growth and the change. So I started by helping teenagers in their leadership skills, and then after I was led to help parents help their teenagers to really grow into finding their purpose. And
Hmm.
eventually, I realized that because I've worked globally. I worked in the UK, in the Bahamas, and now in the Middle East. I felt like there was something missing in education where we never really talks about the word wisdom. And
Hmm.
I know that there is so many coaches out there talking about diversity, um, also about leadership, about so many other categories, but wisdom wasn't really something that was being shared. And I felt like sometimes you can have the knowledge as a person, but if you don't know how to apply it to your school community, I feel it's not really effective. So I decided to really come up with an acronym called WISE, and that's where wise leadership was birthed.
Hmm.
This is where I talk about the W stands for wholeness. I feel that this is something that is missing in school where people are not really taught how to heal from a personal perspective, how to heal from their past experience. And I think that for us to make a bigger impact in school, we need to start from the heart of the human being. And wholeness is something that I believe we don't emphasize enough in school. We talk about well-being, but wholeness is totally different. And the I stands for impactful or inspired, where I believe that when you have a healed heart, then you can actually start inspiring people. You can start making a bigger impact because you've worked on yourself. You understood your trauma, you understood your triggers. Then you're able to actually see the other person differently, and you are able to inspire them and make them actually transform their life. So we started from the heart issue, then it came out from the outside world where we are impacting others. And then I believe that when you impact, you also are self-reflected. So the S stands for self-reflection, where you pause on a daily basis and you start thinking about your impact, yourself, your mind, so you can actually find areas of growth for yourself and areas of growth for your school community where they can be actually they can expand in their life. And when you're self-reflecting, you also understand the power of self-development. And I feel that is something that is missing in school: self-development, self-introspection, and ultimately allowing the person to really see that they need to self-discover who they are. And
Hmm.
the E stands for engagement. Ultimately, when you're whole and you impact and you're self-respecting, now you can be more engaged in your community in different ways. You can be engaged, more engaged with your parents' community. You can be more engaged with your students in your classroom. You can be more engaged with your staff because it comes from inside out.
Yeah. No, that's so powerful. I was taking some notes while you were talking. Um, how just hearing the word wholeness. already resonated, making it made me feel just a little more free. What are some of the things that you do with the wholeness piece to build the wholeness and help them grow in that area?
First of all, I feel that it comes with self-awareness first and
Mm-hmm.
alignment. And to be whole, you need to really understand if you are in the right place at the right time. And alignment is key. For you to be whole, you need to really ask yourself the right questions. So I most of the time do like the whole workshop for teachers, or I also do a self-evaluation trauma assessment informed self-assessment survey for educators and school leaders so they can actually start thinking, okay, what are the things that I need to change in my life inwards, and how can I deal better with my trauma so I can actually better cater my triggers, so I can actually become that person that my staff needs, my student needs, and as well my parents needs.
Mm. That's that's so great. And then when we're more whole, we make a better impact. The
Mm.
self-reflection piece, uh, I think that is so important as well. What are some of the pieces that you suggest for self-reflection? Do you have some tools or do you have some like a process of self-reflection?
Yes, so self-reflection comes first of all with coaching. I
Mm,
feel that in school we need to bring the world of coaching into school. So
mhm,
simple questions
mhm,
like, why are you an educator? Why are you a school leader? So I feel like once you understand your why and you understand your values, it allows you to actually
mm,
decide if you are in the right career for yourself, because sometimes when you are not sure, you hesitate and you really want to do something else, it means
mm,
that you're not settled in the right career for yourself. So I feel like those kind of questions, and even like thinking about what are your gifts. Okay, so
mm,
what are the things that you have that you can actually help better your community of parents in their journey of as well growth and coaching and self-development? Because I believe that when you're a leader, because I'm a John Maxwell certified coach, you need to develop leaders around you. And by you being self-aware and you understand it and you self-reflect, you're able to allow other people around you to self-reflect and understand themselves as well. So I feel that it's not just a only focus on the individual, but I feel it's a whole in the community. It's a whole school approach where when you change, the your whole community around you changes. So the why, the what are your gifts? Are you aligned with where you are? How can what are the ACEs? I don't know if you heard about the adverse childhood experiences. So
mm,
how have you coped with your ACEs, and that can actually help you become a better person? And how can you maneuver those triggers? So the wholeness and the self-reflection comes together in
mhm.
the coaching program.
That's great. And I feel like as you're talking about this, I heard like joy. When we get to that wholeness piece and we
Yes.
are finding that we are being more impactful in a positive way, there's this joy that comes out and resonates in building that community and how it impacts those around us. Um, Gosh, I love that so much. So if we have if we have a listener who's an administrator, maybe a school leader, we do have some of those. So that's so exciting is as they're listening, what is one piece of advice you would give to them today?
I would tell them to start thinking before thinking about the academic and the performance, start
Mhm.
thinking about the needs of your community.
Mm, mm,
What do your community need right now? Because sometimes we have so many tasks to do.
mhm,
Of course, we have to fulfill them at some points during the day. But I believe that when you have a bigger picture and you understand the three M's: your message, your mission,
Hmm.
and your motives, you actually start understanding that you are here for a purpose and you have a solution that only you can bring to the school community that you have been assigned to. So wherever you are right now, it's not just you're not just a school leader. You're not just an educator. You have been assigned. You have been in alignment, aligned to actually learn something from the community that you need to help to develop so they can actually fulfill the higher calling in their life. So, yes, you can have your day to day job and have that performance, but I feel like we need to see on a deeper level what are the needs of the parents in your community, and it that's where wisdom comes into place, because wisdom cannot, like when you don't have wisdom, it's really hard for you to see this stuff. You only focus on the task and the performance rather than really seeing the bigger picture and the need that needs to be addressed.
Hmm. Hmm. When you know your message, your mission, and your motive.
Yes.
I love that. I think so many times people get stuck in, well, this is what I decided I was going to do, so now I'm here, and then lose what the vision was or why. And so staying in a position that has lost its fulfillment or maybe hasn't been its full fulfillment. Do you have any stories you can share about some schools that you have been able to go into and help them with this WISE framework?
Yes, I actually help some school leaders, and I also help some educators, even here in Qatar, where I reside, where, I help them to really become multidimensional leaders. I really focus on that aspect where they can dive deeper into discovering that they can impact in the classroom or in their community, but also they can impact beyond the classroom. So I'm very focused on help them to stretch themselves and see that their career is not the ultimate, I would say, goal of their life. I feel that they can actually birth out other part of their life where they can grow into leadership, they can grow into entrepreneurship, they can grow into other aspects of themselves when they actually self-reflect deeper. Then
Mhm.
this is the part of them that that they unravel. So I feel like even through helping them understand the WISE framework, there is that aspect where they realize that there is more into them than when they came before the coaching sessions.
Mm. Do you have any parents that do the parents, I know you talked at the beginning, some of the transformations they make, do they join part of the coaching or is it helping the educator and then the parent? What does that look like?
So no, I didn't. When I started to help the parents, it was before I had a program that was
Oh,
helping
okay.
specifically the parents.
Mhm.
Now it's more educators and school leaders, so they can actually
Okay.
shift, which is part of your podcast, shift their school community and build
Mhm.
a cutting edge, thriving community. So, but before with the parents, what I was helping them to understand is more the growth into parent leadership, parent self-awareness, parenting consciousness. And I feel like I wanted them to understand that when they grow into their leadership as a parent, their teen would be inspired by what they see,
Mhm.
because teenagers really tend to model what they see. And that part that I was actually sharing with them, and how they can actually raise more purpose-led teen leaders. But this is totally different. So I
Okay.
helped first the teen leaders and the parents who help their teens, but now it's totally different
Mhm.
into the coaching that I do. So it's more helping educators and school leaders to grow into wisdom and understand the WISE framework, and also how they can ultimately impact not only inside but outside the classroom as well.
That's great. Thank you for making that clarification.
Yes.
Uh, I when as a teacher, I realized there's some really cool things that we could teach in the classroom. But if the parents were not on board,
Mm.
like if we gave something, hey, this weekend, go to the park, how do you get engaged with your community? Join this activity and volunteer or serve. And if the parents were like, don't quite understand, there's a huge disconnect. So bridging that gap between what we're teaching, excuse me, bridging the gap between what we're teaching in school and bringing those community members in, it really does strengthen that. And that's what I was hearing when you were saying that the ripple effect,
Mm-hmm.
and how that engagement spreads and grows. And that community aspect can be so powerful because then we're all in it together. We're all growing together. We're all helping each other.
But I,
What? Yeah.
sorry, I wanted to answer that as well. But I believe that for the school leader to really engage more the parents in what they're doing, I feel that there we must really understand how the mindset of parenting operates, and we need to add value to what they do. For example,
Mhm.
it's small things that relate, for example, depending on the age brackets, where you can do maybe some workshops in school, like online, where you can actually help the parents with the problem that they are dealing on their day-to-day basis. But sometimes they don't even know how to do it, because I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes parents don't have the knowledge on how they can actually support their kids better. But because you can be a school leader or you can be an educator, you have the tools, you understand the kids better than the parents sometimes themselves. So you can actually do maybe some workshops, maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes workshop, when you can give them some tips, and then they can actually watch them in their own time. We can create like a hub. And then from then you will have so many parents responding to what you are actually sharing. And if they don't respond, you can actually ask some survey, and even like check on their well-being, or whatever you feel is you're led to actually help them with at the time. So
Mhm.
it's more finding ways to make them more engaged and finding ways to add value to their day-to-day life. I hope I make sense.
Yes, very much so. I think from my experience, and it sounds like from yours, parents really want to be proactive and help.
Yes.
And for me, I've learned so many things over the years that, oh, that was great. I'm so glad someone taught me that because it helped me be a better parent. It helped
Mhm.
me engage more, and also as a teacher and in different aspects of leadership with our students. So um, I just think that's so key to give them the resources as well, because then we all feel like we're in this together, and that engagement
Yes.
piece. I love that. Okay, so you don't talk just in communities. You have this big conference coming up. Can you tell me more
Yes.
about that?
So the conference is called the WISE Educational Leader Global Events, where I gather many educational consultants, school leaders, educators, school counselors, psychologists, school psychologists, where we gather and we really want to make a shift in education. We
Mm,
talk about topics that can actually bring something different into the system of education. So the theme for this year is called Building Wider School Systems, and we have speakers who will talk about how they actually helped other schools achieve higher and also make long-lasting impacts.
mm,
So this is for any educators listening to us, and I feel any school leaders, and I feel this is as well a space where you can connect with people who are like-minded like you, and it's
mm,
global. That's what I love about this conference. It is global. It's not just focused on the States. It's not just focused on the United Kingdom. It's worldwide. And
mm.
this is an opportunity to expand your reach, to connect with other people that are not in the same continent as you, and where you can actually just discover new people that can support you as well, even in collaboration, partnership. So this is what we do, and we just want to make a difference in education with wisdom, and we want to just make an impact worldwide.
That's great. And it is online. So
It is
it is
online.
a
It is
virtual
online.
event.
It's
So
on the
people
27th of June at 2 p.m. UK time.
27th of
It's
June.
a Saturday.
Yes, and I will be putting the link in the
Mhm.
show notes. So anyone who's
Okay.
listening, they'll be in there. If you're watching on YouTube, they are down in the description below. That's really exciting. Okay, so as we're wrapping up, I know these are short, and so we don't get a whole lot of time to talk about it, but I'm so excited. This is something that's so needed in schools, is having a positive impact on how we become whole. I love that you say that. It's not just about self-care and wellness, that we have, there's more work that needs to be done for that healing, for that stronger foundation. I love that. Um, so as we're wrapping up, I always talk about the shifts. What's a small shift that we can make to make a big impact? So either personally, so that wholeness piece, or in the community that we're in, what is one small shift that you could give our listeners today that they can go and implement?
I would just tell them ask for wisdom on a
Mm,
day-to-day basis. Just whatever you're dealing with, just say, you know what?
mm,
I really want to know how I can deal with this situation with better wisdom.
hmm. So I think of that as taking some time to some quiet time, some reflection, some some soul searching almost. Is that how do you
Uh,
interpret that?
How do you, so you wanted to know how I can look for wisdom.
Yes,
So
look for wisdom. Hmm.
I feel, as you were saying, so taking some quiet time,
Hmm.
um, just thinking through about all the different, I would say, problems that you have on a daily basis, even in your school with your parents or
Hmm.
your staff or your students, and just say, okay, how can I deal with it differently? So I can actually make a lasting impact and I can create effective change in their life.
Mm. All right, Gus. Well, you heard it here. We can transform our schools. We have an opportunity to find wholeness, to be impactful through self-reflection and then engaging in our communities, and we can radically transform the environments where our students are at and even our communities. So taking that small shift, take some time to reflect, take some time to seek wisdom so that you can engage fully. Coach Helen, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure. I hope you have an incredible day.
Thank you so much, Lisa, for the invite. Thank you, everyone, for listening.